Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, so this is a completely fresh version of Plannr. It has no, I've never been used before. Gareth set it up for me yesterday exclusively for this purpose. So first thing I want to do is add some clients in here. So let me open up the folder I prepared earlier. So here I've split the clients into individual clients, business clients, and joint and trust clients. So first thing we need to do is we need to put the individuals into the system, because we need to assign, we can't put the joint and the trust and the businesses in until we have an individual to assign them to. So if we open up the individual one now, most of this stuff is quite self-explanatory. You can ignore these two, because these will be generated when it comes into the system. So things like this here, I've got a document that I've been preparing, which is almost ready. The guy's just fixing some things on field names and stuff, which I'll be sending out hopefully by the end of the day, if not by the end of tomorrow, which will give you a breakdown of each column heading, and if it is a selection, the type of selections that you can put in it, and if it isn't a selection, what you can put in it instead, and a basic kind of, I mean, I might be teaching a lot of people to suck eggs on some of these, but I've put just a quick description of what it is on it. So the direct report, so in order to get the direct report information and the administrative information, which is the assigned users, first thing we have to do is create a dummy client in here. So I'm just going to call them dummy 1, dummy 2. You can leave most of this stuff blank. What we're going to do though is we're going to assign it to advisor 1 and administrator 1. We save that, it'll warn you about having no contact details. Then if you extract this one record from the system, what it will do is it will give you the piece of information that you need to import the record in. So here, you can download this as a CSV if you want to as well. So here, this gives us our direct report name and the direct report UID, and the same for the administrator and the same for the administrator's UID. So if I take that and if I put that into here, no, wrong button. I take that, put that into here. And now don't just drag that down, as what will happen is these will, you'll get consequential numbers going down, consequential numbers going down, and as found out with someone else, you will end up with a load of incorrect data. So you need to copy it into 2 lines, then they're the same. Now you can drag it down. So now what it will do is it will give you the same number in each one. Otherwise, you can just drag it down from the top, you get the wrong information. So that's that. Titles, some of these people haven't got titles, I've just left them blank. I mean, first name, last name, maiden name, national insurance number, gender, date of birth, nickname, target retirement age. Most of these are all pretty self-explanatory. Pronouns, smoker status. Again, things like the smoker status, it is all case sensitive, but that will come across in the document that I've prepared, which will be sent over soon. And again, most of this is all kind of, straightforward. You've got details on vulnerability here, things like that. For example, things like vulnerability details, you don't only need to fill that in if you have set the client as vulnerable, which is that one there. So you wouldn't need to worry about those unless you've set the client here as vulnerable. But again, all these can be ignored. If you don't have this information, then it doesn't matter. You don't have to import it. So if I save that now, and because what I've done is I've taken these headings here and put them in the spreadsheet, that allows us, when we go to import it, you'll see what that does for us. We go add new, imports there, add new clients, tick the CSV has headers, choose the file, go into here, individuals, click continue. You can see here where I've already added those headings, it's picked them up. If I hadn't done that, you have to go through and select them all. Because these are new clients, we want to click ignore on the UUID. What you can do is if you've already got clients in, when you've exported them, if you look at this one here, it's got that UUID, you can use that column to do mass updates on clients that are already in the system. Just make sure that's all there. Click ignore on these two, if you don't want to send any emails out. This just gives you a quick preview to make sure everything's in the right place and stuff. Quite straightforward. And then if we click import, give it a second to do its thing. There you go. So that's, they've all failed. Why have they all failed? So here's something I've overlooked. Simple thing, easily done. I haven't added a status. So if I go to statuses here, I create a new status called new, color for it, click save. That should now accept that in the system when I go to import it. So I just do that again. Again, it's picked up all my fields for me. Ignore, ignore. Ignore. Okay. Status new. All right, that shouldn't be a problem this time. Start the import. There you go, they're not failing this time. Give it a second and it should be done. Right, so there you go. So that's all come through now. So now if we go to clients here, we can see all the clients that come into the system. They're all there. So now what we want to do is we want to import our joint clients and our business clients. So if we go to reporting again, because if I open up the spreadsheet for the joint clients, you will see that we need to have, there's a column called owners. Now this column needs to have the UUIDs of the people who own the joint or the business account. So that's why you have to put your individuals in first. So if I go here and I do another export, client export, clients for UUID, export that, download it, download a CSV. Then this gives me a list here of the client's name and their associated UUID. So now what I need to do, I need to add that to the owners column on here, which requires a little bit of doing a quick some VLOOKUP. So you can see here I've got the two names of who the joint client belongs to. So you've got Dominic Test and Dominic Calvert. So what I'll do is I will split this. I'll use the ampersand to split it. That gives me the two separated there. Then you'll notice there's a space in the front of that one, so I need to just remove the space from the front of that one. Finish. That gives me that one. So that gives me that there gives me the name of the second joint client. I'm just going to remove the spaces off these quickly. And then what I will do is I will use these names to look up the UID. So that can be client 1. UID 1, 2, UID 2. So now if I do equals the lookup, take that column, go back to here, select my two columns there, second column for the second in this number, and then false because we want an exact match. And if I do that, there you go, I've got all my UIDs. And then what I usually do is I just go Control-T, Control-V, and I paste that as values. so that nothing can change it. And then I'll just do the same over here. And that gives me the information I need for the owners column. Then what I need to do is I need to put that into the owners column in a format that the system will recognize, and that is comma separated. So just a simple formula in here equals that one, and then the and sign, open quotation marks, comma symbol, close quotation marks, another and sign, second one, and that puts it into there nice and comma separated for us. So if I do that, drag that down. Why is it not on board today? Do it that way instead. So there you go. There you have, and you'll see that they match those two. So again, Control C, Control V, paste as values, and there you have your owner column. You can delete these two now. So we can delete these two columns as well because we're not using them, and those two because we won't be using them. So these here, again, they are case sensitive. Again, all the available selection options will be in that document for you. So what we need to do here actually is we need to update the administrator and the direct report, which we can grab from here. I paste it in the right place. There you go. So obviously things like title and stuff is all empty because it's for a joint client. So what we'll do now is we'll save that. And now we will go here and import it. Add new, again, it's still clients, still CSV as headers, and then joint and trust clients. Open that, continue. So again, set the ones you don't need to ignore, and then you can, I mean, it's just going to ignore those because we're not doing joint clients. If we scroll down, owners, and make sure owners is selected, ignore. So there you go, all that stuff is empty. If we go right to the end over here, we should see the list of UIDs. And then if we start the import, you can see that that's now gone through. So if we go back to clients now, scroll down slightly, we can find here we've got import joint test, and we've got test 48 are the two owners of that client. And you can see here that you've got significant contacts here. Also, if you go into them, again, you can see there you've got a joint account for them both there. So that's now set up as them. So now the next thing we want to do is the same, it's a similar thing but for businesses. So close that one. Open up the business spreadsheet. Delete that. Change the direct report over again. Right, and then we need to take the owners column. So in here, what I've done already is I've put who I know the owners to be. I've put that in there in text format. So what I need to do is I need to split these out again, which I'll do with a text to columns. So text to columns, delimited, next, use the ampersand to split them up. And then again, here I just delete that space. Make sure there's no spaces on this one. All right. So we've got owner 1, owner 2, and owner 3. Insert that there, insert there. So again, we should do the same thing. We just do equals, VLOOKUP, that column, comma, go to here. And then false. That gets us our UIDs. And then Control C, Control V, paste it as values. Only 2 here. I'm not going to bother doing it on the last one because I know that Dominic Calvert's one is there. So I can just nab that, stick it in there to save us all a bit of time. And then again, we've got to combine it into our owners field. So if I insert this here, go owners. Again, it's quite simple, equals that one, equals that one, and then equals and comma and that one equals that one and comma and that, and then that one as well. This one we've got 3, so we do a third one, which is that one. There you go, and then equals just the one for that one. So if we save that, Control C, Control V, get it as values. It's values, perfect. And now we can delete all these extra columns because we've got the information we need. Delete, and then there we go. And then we can upload this one. So if we go again to imports, new clients, CSV has headers, choose file, businesses, continue, UUID we can ignore, status ID we can ignore, status name, entity name is the name of the business. So where is it on here? That's the wrong one. So if we go to entity name, can't spell it, that's why. So if you see entity name there matches the name there. So that's what it uses to create the record. So that's all there. That's all good. That's all good. That's all good. Ignore. Ignore. And you can see here you've got all the information you need. Direct reports ID. And if we go to the end, we should have the owners as well. There's the owners. So if we start that import, give it a second. There's no failures there. So if we go to clients, you'll see now we've got Co-Potato Limited in here, which is owned by Samuel Carey. And if we find another business, or actually if we go into Sam, we can see Sam is part of Co-Potato Limited, Dom Limited, and the random name that I create for this company here. And this company here has got plenty of owners. So that's how we do businesses. The next thing we have to do is plans. Again, very similar process. So just close that one and close that one. We need that one open, UIDs. We go here. So if we go to plans, open up the plans ones. Remove the value column because that's part of the export. So name of the plan there, This one can be ignored because this one is system generated. Here you've got the type of plan. These are currently, they're a set list, which again, I'll send you over. These currently are free text, but we are changing them to be a set list, which will be provided with this document. If there are any that anyone's ever missing, we can always add them for you later. Again, these are system generated. These will be system generated as well, but we need that client UUID there, so we just delete that one. Now, in order to find the client UUID, all we have to do here, because there's only ever one client, equals VLOOKUP, column there, and go to the table of the clients again. And that gives us the client ID. Can't find that one for some reason. There's a couple there it can't find. Right, there's a reason it can't find those, is because I added those after I did that first spreadsheet. So if I do another report here and do another client export, UUIDs again, generate reports. And then if I download this one, and if I take these businesses and joints, just the businesses should do it, and add them to the bottom of this one, it should find those. No, it doesn't, because they're in the wrong place. Don't say that. So if I, rather than that, I'll just again, equals VLOOKUP at client name, comma, the new spreadsheet. I need to move that over first. Apologies. Take the name, put it in front of the UUID first, otherwise the VLOOKUPs don't work properly. So equals VLOOKUP at symbol, client name, comma, spreadsheet, those columns, comma to false. And do that. There you go. So now it's got them all, but it hasn't found this one here. Why hasn't it found that one? Okay, it hasn't found that one, so that's not in there. I must have left an extra one here by accident. Just delete that row off. So again, Control C, Control V to make sure you keep the values. So name, top level type, subtype, client UUID, client name. This stuff can kind of be ignored. Provider, there is a set list of providers, but also adding a provider is optional. The list of providers is available here. If you go to imports, go to plans, you can click this here. This takes you through to a list of all the available providers. Again, we've got, I mean, no one so far has had one missing, but if there is, just let us know and we can add them for you. Plan status. Again, there are three options: active, inactive, or proposed, but that'll all be on the list I sent over. This is the date the plan was opened at. These can include times, but they don't need to. We'll just accept the normal dates. And then if the plan is inactive, the inactive dates, the reason for the any inactivity, again, that's a set list which we will send over. Provider UUID, if you don't want to use the provider name, you can use the provider UUID, but you don't need to, you can just use the name. Provider reference, that's policy number. Again, it's optional because we understand that some plans might not have it. For example, a fixed property or an asset might not have a policy number. And then the rest of these are generic kind of fields for the policies. There's lots on here. These will all be on the document I send over. Explanations for each one, the kind of things you can put in, accepted formats, etc., etc. But I'm not going to take everyone's time here going through explaining what a pension gross contribution amount is, because I'm sure everyone knows So I won't go through that. But yeah, so that's it there. You've got all the information you need there. So if we save that now, and if we go, so we're already, so it's imports, add new, plans. Till it has headers. Just make sure I saved it. Choose file. Here's one I prepared earlier. Click continue, and again, it's found most of these. So ignore because we're not updating anything. Can ignore that one as well. Shared owner UUID, ignore. That will be removed soon. We just need to make sure that we've got client UUID there is correct. All these match up because of the way I've set it up. That's all okay. And then we start the import. And then go to here to check the status. Some have failed, so we find out why they've failed. It's not telling me why that one's failed, but I'll have to bring that up. That's not telling me why they failed. Right, I have to ask the guys why those have failed. I'm not sure why those have failed. But as you can see, we've had 13 successful and 5 failures. So if we go to plans, you can see here these plans have come in. You've got provider there, policy number, main pension, etc., etc., etc. Now what we're going to do is the last thing, and that is to add valuations for those plans. So again, same process. We go to reporting, and we go generate new report, but this time we want to go for a plan export because we need the plan UUIDs this time. So plan UUID, generate report, let that load, and while that loads, I'm going to close the other spreadsheets so we can close these ones now because we're finished with them. And then I will open up the valuations one. So valuations is a lot simpler. You just need the information there. Let me just get this downloaded right. So download the CSV, open it up. So sub-account UUID is plan ID. So it's just labeled slightly differently, which is all going to be corrected soon. So I can either look this up on the provider reference or the plan name, but because the provider reference doesn't always have one, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use the plan name instead. So if I do equals, again, sorry if this is all the same, but it's kind of a tiered process where we use one thing to find the others. So if I just move that there again so that I've got the UUID. So equals VLOOKUP at plan, comma, column 2, false, hit enter, and that gives us our UIDs. Missing some, those are probably the ones that didn't get imported, so I'll just drop those off for now and I can investigate why those ones failed. Delete. Right, so it's very simple. Plan UUID, provide a reference. You don't have to provide a provider reference, you can just provide a plan UID, so I'm going to move that. The date the valuation was made and the value. Again, that's an optional plan. You don't need that column. I'm just using it there to look things up. So if I save that now and go back to here, again, imports, add new, valuations, as headers, choose file, and valuations. Open and continue. So plan UID as sub-account. We change that to ignore because we only need one of these 3. So if I tell it to ignore both of those, got the valuation date, the value, and the plan UUID. Start the import. And that's already completed with those 7. So if I now go back to my plans, you'll see that they've got valuations in them. So yeah, that's how the importers work. The way you have to do it, unfortunately, is you do have to go do your clients first, then your joints and businesses, then your plans, and then finally your valuations. It's just the way the system is designed. Nick, I'm just reading your question now. Look up to work. Does the table being read need to be announced? No, it doesn't need to be in any kind of order, Nick. It can be however you want it to be. Doesn't need to be in any order at all. So, does anyone have any questions? If no one has any questions, then I guess that's it. I will get those documents out hopefully by the end of tomorrow. The guys are just fixing some of the things on the fields to make sure that the information I'm sending out is definitely up to date and makes as much sense as possible. And we will post this recording on the community. And of course, if you have any questions, just reach out to me and I can help you with any questions or anything. Okay. So thanks, guys. I will speak to you all soon.